Welcome to Sibling Revelry. I'm Doug. That's Paul. And we hope you're having a wonderful Saturday evening, I should say. I actually wrote down an intro so I wouldn't forget, and I'm glad I did. But I genuinely hope everybody is having a wonderful Saturday. Welcome to another wonderful episode 10. Before we jump in, please, if any of what we say tonight or in the past episodes, if you check them out, if any of it like resonates with you, if you like what we have to say, if you find us interesting, funny, even if you find us infuriating, I don't need likes or comments. Just subscribe. It'll help us stay connected. It'll help us stay in communication, I think, a little bit better. And I think that's kind of important right now. I think whether you agree or disagree with somebody, I think it's important to befriend that person and try and live in their shoes and understand them. And I think that works for us. Why are you shaking your head? Did I say something wrong?
Nope, because I'm a big dumb idiot.
Okay, so Paul, are we live anywhere? Is that why? Am I going to talk and waste time?
We're live on YouTube. I screwed up Rumble and Odyssey. We should be live there any second now. Okay, we're up on Odyssey, and we'll be up on Rumble soon.
But regardless, once we work out technical issues, we're still fairly new. Hit subscribe. Like I said, stay connected. This is how we can grow. This is how we can become better. This is how we can communicate better as people and as two guys just trying to entertain people. We like doing this. We like that you two are on the wrong side today. A lot kind of trippy. That's Paul's fault. It's Paul's fault. There you go.
Fixed.
Paul fixed it real quick. Good to see you, Kim.
And our name tags are gone.
That's not me. I didn't touch anything. So while you figure out what's going on, it is kind of trippy.
Oh, it's comments. It's comments.
Speaking of trippy, well, this isn't so much trippy, but I've noticed that I'll be from 3 weeks from today, I'm going to be 42. My 42nd birthday, we are doing a podcast. So as I get older, like I've noticed that I've gotten sore and achy and that. And so I've turned to the internet advice of like gods like St. Rogies and other nutritionists. And I've realized that you technically, once you pass 40, I believe you're supposed to start taking close to 1,000 milligrams of calcium, like as a supplement. So I figure, fuck it. I got calcium, magnesium, and zinc. And I started that today, and we'll see what that journey takes me 3 weeks from today on my birthday. Also on my birthday, because Kim said kind of trippy, I got some really interesting portobello mushrooms that I'm saving. I'm letting them age a little bit to get the perfect taste out of them. But I think I'm going to go ahead and saute those up and eat those on my 42nd birthday show. So it should be kind of trippy indeed. Paul, how we doing, man?
We're good on everything. We're good on Rumble. We're good on Odyssey. I'm doing good. Been a long day. Just a lot of stuff to do, a lot of chores to do. Ran into town. Spring. I can feel the spring thaw in the air. I can feel it coming.
Me too.
And it's just not coming fast enough. Right now, my front yard is like an ice rink. The roads all the way to the county line are like an ice rink. I'm ready. I'm ready for that to thaw out and be springtime.
You and me
favorite
both.
time of year.
2 days ago, maybe it was 2 or 3 days ago. It was like a nice sunny day. It was like I'd say in the high 20s. It was a beautiful day. I don't know. It was like by you. You tend to have a little bit cooler weather where you're at than where I'm at. But we had a beautiful day here. And by Wednesday, we're supposed to be like 48. I think it's supposed to be the high Wednesday.
Yep.
So we're getting
we got a week above 32, which usually means we're gonna get a majority of the snowbanks melted down. Everything's going to start coming to life.
Oh, the smell, all the smell of mud and grass and all that, the earth coming back to life and the worms coming out. And oh, God.
Gardening season, baby. That's gardening season.
Goddamn it, mute button. I could tell, like you said, that it's springtime because my mood is changing. Like seasonal depression is leaving me because the last couple of days I've been waking up and I haven't been going for long walks, like maybe 10, 15 minutes because it's super cold in the morning still. But like the mornings have been pretty nice as far as like sunrises and that. And my attitude has started to improve to where when I wake up, like I want to get back to being energetic and jogging. I ordered a bunch of new compression shirts because I fucking as soon as that snow hits, I'm getting the track. I'm going to start running again, man. I can't wait. Hence the calcium, magnesium, zinc. Shout out to Wally World and supplemental health info.
Walmart really needs your paid promotion.
It's not paid, really.
You're right.
I mean, I paid them but to say that, I suppose. What else? I don't think there's anything else that I had for intro wise, other than genuinely, I got to get used to the fact that I've shifted my camera. Like I got a tripod for the cam and stuff, and I'm playing around with angles and lighting and stuff to see what looks best. And I got to admit, like I got to get used to like remembering that if I want to talk to you directly or to the audience directly, I have to turn my head and stare into it. But yeah, please submit and not submit. Please subscribe. If like I said, that's the biggest thing I had to say at the beginning of the show is if whatever we say, I know it's a little rough start. We get better, I promise, as we get a few in us. But if whatever resonates, just please subscribe. That's the only thing I got to say. Paul?
Like you already said, subscribe. As far as the look of the show goes, like Doug said, if you have any comments you'd like to make, like, video production, lighting, stuff you think could be better, leave a comment. We'll get back. We'll check it out. We'll review it.
Absolutely.
I got nothing else. Are we moving right into this?
If you want to, man, unless you want to compare sizes and stuff, let's do it. I'm going at your pace, brother.
All right, cool. All right, what's the first news story you got for us, Doug?
We've got Russia, Ukraine. I wrote about peace talks falling apart. There's a lot that you can unpack. I'll be honest with you. This particular week has been busy in all aspects of life to a degree to where I didn't really have a lot of time to pay attention to most of the news. And it didn't really seem like it was all that big of a news week to begin with, and more of the same shit. This war is going to go on for a while, but I did write that down because it is still pretty recent and there still is shit that's going on. But I did see that peace talks fall apart is what we wrote in parentheses, and you wanted me to remind you about Kamala. But that's the first. That's on the top. The first thing on top of the docket is Russia, Ukraine, and you're the smart one of the two of us. So
let's talk about what we missed with Russia, Ukraine over the week. At least the high spots, like you said, peace talks between Russia and Poland kind of fell apart. I think they had 2 or 3 of them that basically both sides of the table are going in with unattainable demands for the other side, and they're just falling apart every time they try it. I think the biggest thing is, I think Ukraine is now saying before any more peace talks can happen, there has to be a ceasefire. Guns have to be laid down before they'll even consider talking peace treaties and stuff like that. Big news over the week, though, like the one where we gotta like, this is pretty heavy stuff. We got 2 big things that came out of this week. First off is the biolabs. So let me tell you a story of Monday through Thursday in Russia, Ukraine, America, this love triangle we seem to have ourselves caught in. Russia put out last weekend that they are trying to get into the Ukrainian bioweapons labs that the U.S. is funding and supporting. And immediately, everybody was like, is that true? That's not true, right? We don't have biolabs in Russia. And, of course, the U.S. came out on Monday and said, no. We don't have any bioweapons labs in the Ukraine. That's preposterous. And then on Tuesday, it was, okay. There are biolabs in the Ukraine, but they're totally not funded by us. The U.S. does not fund these biolabs in the Ukraine. And then when Wednesday rolls around, it's okay. So we fund these biolabs in the Ukraine. We do that. But there's no biological weapons at all. Russia's lying about us funding a bioweapons lab. It's just biological research. It has nothing to do with bioweapons. And then Thursday comes around. And guess where this is going on Thursday?
Basically, Star Labs let the virus out in Raccoon City and all hell broke loose. Now we need Leon Kennedy and Jill Valentine.
Well, these biolabs do bioweapons research.
Star Labs. It was Umbrella. God damn it. I'm sorry.
On Thursday,
idiot, Doug.
These biolabs do research. They don't actually have bioweapons in them, but they do bioweapons research, and it's a grave concern to the U.S. because we don't want Russia to get their hands on the bioweapons research.
let's say that you're somebody who's really, really uneducated and slow, and maybe uses something that inhibits the memory in the mind. Bioweapons, weapons using biological gases, poisons.
Exactly what you said. Release the raccoon.
Oh my God! Return of the Living Dead Part 2.
Yeah,
Okay.
zombie apocalypto. But no, like putting anthrax in a weapon where it spreads anthrax all around. Anything that's a biological
What
chemical
the
agent.
fuck, dude? America,
So
we're
apparently,
fucked
from what
up.
I've researched, and this is just my research. Go out and do your own. There are 5 U.S. funded biolabs in the Ukraine that we pay for, and some of them do biological weapons research, but they don't actually have any bioweapons. But it's of grave concern to make sure that Russia does not take those biolabs.
We've been funding Russian biolabs, and we have developed a weapon that will drop a bomb and unleash women to pee on to golden shower on certain parts of the population.
Yeah, so
All that.
that's a pretty entertaining story that
That's
has
insane.
come out of Russia Ukraine this week. Also, is the Poland jet fighter debacle.
Yeah. Yes.
So do you know anything about this, or
I know that, is it having to ship weapons to Ukraine?
yeah? So our fearless non dementia ridden president,
Uncle Joe?
who's completely sound mind and able, had a speech this week at the beginning of the week, and he called upon Poland to provide the Ukrainians MiG-29 fighter aircraft so that they can reclaim the skies with their own pilots. But they would be Polish MiGs, which are a Russian fighter jet. Poland, being smart enough to realize what that would mean, said, whoa. We didn't discuss this. We didn't say we were going to provide them jets. We never told you that. Why would you go and tell the world that we're going to provide them MiG-29s? So Poland, and it was Poland and Romania. So Poland comes up with an idea in the middle of the week, and they say, all right, hey, U.S., here's what we'll do. We'll provide all the MiG-29s for Ukraine, but we're not going to hand deliver them to the Ukraine. We're going to send them to Ramstein Air Force Base in Germany, which is a U.S. base. And then you guys, the U.S., figure out how to get those MiG-29s into the Ukraine and give them to the Ukrainians. And then, of course, once they said this
is an old Polish joke that Grandpa would have told.
Yeah. Now, of course, once the Polish said that, then the Biden administration was like, no, we're not going to do that. Here's why. Because Poland and the U.S. are both smart enough to realize that once you provide a fighter jet to Ukraine, that is an act of war.
Yeah. You're helping out.
But yeah, it goes beyond just giving them food, weapons, and ammo.
Weird. It is so weird that we are caught in all this shit. That this is what the world is.
Yeah. After that, then the Biden administration came out and said, no, we're not going to do that. And really, the Ukrainians don't need fighter jets. When 3 days prior to this, they were saying Poland's going to provide Ukrainian the fighter jets they need to take back the skies. Once it became, it's going to be our responsibility to get those Polish jets into the Ukraine, then it became a bad idea. I love how the media and the narrative is changing on a day-to-day basis, and it's completely contradictory to each other. I find it completely hysterical. And then, of course, our fearless leader, the border czar, I guess now the Ukrainian czar, Kamala Harris, flew over to Europe, had some interesting press conferences and meetings with leaders. There was actually one, I believe, Polish or Romanian leader, like your prime minister or vice or deputy prime minister, however it works over there, who came out and did an interview after she left to go back home and said, God help us if that woman ever becomes president of the United States.
Holy fuck.
We look terrible on the world stage. And we got more to talk about this, and we'll get into that in our next story, I'm assuming, because our next story is the bigger one.
Yeah. You want to go right into that right now?
Sure. We actually have a little vignette to introduce this one. We're going to be discussing inflation, so enjoy the following video.
The title of this segment is called "Fuck Stephen Colbert," a piece written with love by me.
All right.
We have more oil than anybody, okay? And it's an incredible thing that it's happened over the last few years, a lot of great things, and you're paying, what, $2 a gallon for your gasoline? That's okay. You know what that's like? That's like a tax cut. That's bigger than a tax cut. If Biden got in, you'd be paying $7, $8, $9. Didn't they say, get rid of your car?
Prices at some local gas stations, they're way above the average. Well, across the street from the Beverly Center, one of the most expensive places in L.A., drivers are paying this, nearly $7 for regular unleaded, nearly $8 for premium. Drivers said they were surprised and not in a good way.
So I'm sick of this stuff. We have to talk about it because the American people think the reason for inflation is government spending more money. Simply not true.
You're such a f***ing liar.
Make no mistake, inflation is largely the fault of Putin.
Liar! Liar!
Biden said he's going to stop the Keystone pipeline, and I did. And that's the reason prices went up. Folks, let's get something straight here. The Keystone pipeline was 2 years away and had been 2% finished. Give me a break. Give me a break. Never forget what we've accomplished together so far. It will blow up.
I fucking love it will blow up. Say what you will, dude. Say what you fucking will. I don't care what your politics are. I really don't, man. I'm not judging anybody for anything. This guy's just as entertaining as the last guy, in my opinion, man. The last guy I didn't really appreciate or love until like this last year, but I'm starting to really appreciate how funny Joe Biden really is, man. Like it's, and I also gotta preface this by saying it's not so much funny as it also is. It's part funny and it's part sad because we are witnessing a man in front of a world slip into senility and dementia, and just it's weird. It's like watching Joe Exotic or 1,000-Pound Sisters and being entertained by it, but knowing that it's not a good outcome for anybody involved.
So,
Paul, I leave it to you.
Let's discuss the timeline of events that have led us to where we are today. If anybody's watching this, it's no hidden secret that inflation is bad. It's currently a right under 10% inflation, which is horrible. Anyway, so let's address the key talking points from the video we just watched. The first clip was from Trump back in early fall of 2020 on the campaign trail when he was doing one of his monstrous Trump rallies, talking about how, you know, we have our own oil supply. At the time, Trump got us to a point where we were self-sufficient in the energy market. That's very important to what's going on right now, because what that means is the U.S. was producing all their own energy, oil, gasoline, natural gas to feed all the U.S. citizens in the country, and we were exporting excess energy, which means we were selling that oil, natural gas, and energy to a global market, and we were selling that and pocketing the money. Now, one of the reasons the price was so low at the time is because in production was the Keystone Pipeline. And the Keystone Pipeline is a pipeline that ran from Alaska through Canada into the States to deliver more fossil fuel like that. You literally push a button, pushes the fuel through the pipes into America. You have it, refine it. Everybody has cheap fuel in America. That's how this works. Now, Biden took office, and on day one, literally day one, he issued an executive order to shut down the Keystone Pipeline. It cost around 10,000 U.S. jobs and I believe 2,000 Canadian jobs. Go ahead.
Did he shut it down? Did he shut it down solely because Trump had
enacted
it?
He every Trump executive order he reversed, got rid of, and everything else. Okay. All right. So the shutting down the Keystone Pipeline, and as our fearless president said in that clip, which is from 2 days ago, by the way, so everybody knows, that clip was from 2 days ago. He said, yeah, I shut the Keystone Pipeline down. It was 2 years away from being complete. That doesn't matter. I would like to inform anybody who doesn't know that gas prices not only go on what the barrel costs right now, it also goes on what's called the speculation market. And the market will say, okay, we have these things in the works, so we can actually lower prices now because we know in the future we are going to have this pipeline which will increase production, speed, and cost to it. So that does matter. Shutting down the Keystone Pipeline does matter. Also, mind you, when he said that 2 days ago, when he said, oh, when I shut it down, it was going to take 2 years to build, so it doesn't affect anything, that was a year and 3 months ago. And I'm no mathematician, but that means that the Keystone Pipeline was still being built. It would be 2/3 completed. And in 7 months, we would have had the Keystone Pipeline delivering energy and fuel to the United States, from the United States. So that's where he's wrong on that. Now, the White House is doing this big shift to blame Putin on inflation. Now, let's talk about this. So in October of last year, well, first off, when inflation started middle of last year, it was Trump's fault. And then October, it was transitory, meaning it was only temporary. It's not going to last longer than a couple months and it'll go right back down. Well, that didn't happen. So in January, when inflation was still rising, then we start saying inflation's a good thing because it's going to raise how much you make an hour. Great. You're going to get a 2% raise at work. Meanwhile, inflation's at 7%. Do the math. You're still losing. You're still losing 5%, even if you factor in a work raise. Now we blame Putin for everything. It's all Putin's fault. It has nothing to do with Biden. It's all because Putin is invading Russia. Well, first and foremost, if we didn't shut down the Keystone Pipeline and we didn't shut down the American energy industry, we would still be using all of our own products and selling the excess on a global market. But since, of course, Biden came into office and on day one shut all that down, Americans just didn't stop using gasoline. We didn't stop heating our homes with natural gas when Biden did that. We still need all that oil product. Well, what do you do when you're not making it yourself? You go out and buy it. Well, Russia has the 5th largest economy, and they're the 3rd largest energy exporter in the world. So we started buying oil, gasoline, and natural gas from Russia. Approximately 25% of our consumption that we use in the United States was coming from Russia since Biden took office of last year.
Okay.
Now, here's the thing that I love hearing right now. When Biden first put sanctions on Russia and they made a big deal about it, they were the exact same sanctions that Trump had on Russia, Trump's entire presidency. He had sanctions on Russian oil, the whole entire presidency, but it didn't matter because we weren't buying oil from Russia, so we weren't affected. Because Biden took office and now we're buying a good majority of our oil, well, not majority, but a good amount of oil from Russia, those sanctions did hit us hard. And in this week, Biden banned all Russian oil products from coming into the U.S. So now we went beyond sanctions where we can't get Russian oil. That's why you're seeing the price increase. So what Biden's administration did was create a policy where we're not buying Russian oil anymore, but he blames it on Putin because Putin invaded Ukraine, which leads us to Stephen Colbert, which is what you hate about this whole scenario, is Stephen Colbert is one of the people spouting, well, I'll pay $15 a gallon if it's a moral victory over Putin.
Oh, moral victory,
now.
let alone being a multimillionaire.
And owning an electric car and not buying gas. But that's cool.
Dickhead.
All you poor people in America who have a gas car, it's cool. If gas is too expensive, just go out and buy a $100,000 Tesla. Oh, by the way, how do Teslas run? What do you have to do to make a Tesla run every day? You have to plug it in, right? Oh, what do those most power companies in America run on right now? Oh, that's right, coal. So you're not being very health conscious when your gas bill goes from $400 a month to $0 a month, and then your electric bill goes up $400 a month, and you're still burning coal into the atmosphere. So don't sit here and say that you're a righteous soul because you went electric car. Energy costs something from everybody, no matter where you get it. And now the middle class and the lower class are going to be the ones who are screwed out of this deal. It's not going to be the Stephen Colberts. It's not going to be the Joe Bidens. And all I'm saying is, if you are so loyal to one person where you're going to say everything they do is great, I wasn't even that way with Trump. When Trump did something stupid, I said Trump did stupid stuff. I vehemently disagreed with pulling out of Syria. So don't take this as Paul's a conservative and he just wants to make Biden look bad. This is all Biden's doing. This is all Biden's doing. And this isn't going to hurt Putin because guess what? Putin's only cut off from selling energy to NATO and the U.S. There's a lot of countries in this world that use gas products that are not NATO or not the U.S. And if you don't think China's going to get a sweetheart deal from Russia, if you don't think Asia's going to get a sweet deal, the Middle East is going to get a great deal. He's already working with the Saudis. By the way, the Saudis we've been funding the whole time. You know what I mean? And like now they're going to, they refused to call. The Saudi prince refused to call with Joe Biden.
Yeah, Mohammed bin Salman.
We look so weak on the world stage right now that the president of the United States is getting calls refused by foreign leaders.
We look so weak that the guy who knowingly had a kill squad dismember and murder Jamal Khashoggi is now ignored. Like I remember hearing Biden leading up to all that, like saying like, hey, he's going to pay. If I get in, he's going to pay. We're going to deal with it. That's not going to be tolerated. And now the motherfucker is taking your calls. So how are you going to deal with that, Joe?
And you know what? That's the reason he's not taking his calls is because Biden shot his mouth. And guess what? Biden needs Saudi right now because he needs Saudi to start pumping more oil to get it to the United States to bring our costs down.
There's a part of me that doesn't want to acknowledge it because it feels conspiracy theory, or maybe just because like I'm getting to that point where I'm getting old now to where it feels like it really is becoming a reality everywhere I look with how crazy we've become as not just an American society, but a world society, a global society. I don't know how other people live in other countries, but it just feels like what we're all being fed is we're fucking going nuts. And I had no idea where I was going with that. I'm sorry. The first beer just hit me, man. So, yeah, but I wrote down fuck Stephen Colbert because that really pissed me off. Because I'll tell you what, Stephen Colbert is a guy who I used to really find funny. I was telling Paul before we started this, Stephen Colbert was on a show called Exit 57 with Amy Sedaris and a bunch of other comedians who went on to prominence in some form or another with writing or acting. And he was really funny. I mean, Stephen Colbert is funny. I'm not taking that away from him. But it's clear that he's getting a paycheck. Jesus Christ, he works for one of the biggest networks, sucking that dick. Like he's going to say what he's told to say. And it bothers me more than anything because I know that motherfucker makes more money than you and I will ever fucking see in our entire lives. And he broadcasts to one specific group of people, our fucking parents, specifically our dad. And they eat that shit up. And the problem I have with that is he instills this thing like, well, no, you have to go ahead and do it. You have to pay the price because it's your moral obligation as an American, as a citizen. It's your responsibility. And these people who have nothing, who are living on Social Security checks, who are living paycheck to paycheck, go, you know what? You're right. We're going to go ahead and we're going to eat this because it's not your fucking moral obligation. This is uncalled for. It's unreasonable. It's fucking ridiculous, man. Yeah. How do we go from the beginning of a pandemic where like we're going to get Biden in there and everyone's going to get a check and people like, I'm not going back to work. I'm getting paid. Now we're here. We're like, guess what? We knew this shit was going to happen, stupid.
Yeah, and my advice to anybody right now is if you've never been big on budgeting or actually planning things out, now's the time because it affects everything. It's not just gas prices. It starts with gas prices and then it trickles down. It trickles down from there because how does everything get to a store? Everything gets to a store on a truck that consumes fuel. So if fuel prices go up, then the companies have to spend more money to have the driver go and deliver the food to a store, which is going to increase the cost of every single product in a store. This is how the economy works. Higher costs, higher wages equal higher product for the consumer.
Do you know what would be amazing if everything wasn't so homogenized and had a narrative built into it as far as networks go, is to get back Schoolhouse Rocks, like a modernized Schoolhouse Rocks that's not bullshit. Because it would be good to have that kind of shit explained the way Mobile on Capitol, like do shit like that, but explain it the way. I don't know. I'm sorry.
I never understood why high schools got rid of civics class. Like that to me, that would be one of the most important classes to have in high school.
Well, Paul,
which would be?
You just okay? Yeah, you're back. Good. Never mind. Sorry.
Anyway, so that's pretty much all I got to say about that. Buy guns and grow your own food.
Exactly. And before we go, I'm not going to touch exactly on it, but like I do want to say, like I had so much to say as far as like, you know, civics things not being like certain things not being involved in schools and that, and like the differences between a big city and a small town and budgets and stuff. But the reality is, like, there's times where I want to talk about what I do during the day, but I want to keep that separate. But one day, if this ever takes off, believe me, I'm going to tell some stories and share some opinions. I miss Lee County. I miss Lee County so much, man. It ran like a well-oiled machine. Now, I don't know what it looks like or how it runs now in a post-COVID pandemic world, but I'd be curious to actually. It's funny. I don't really keep in contact with anybody who still works there. I'd be curious to see what it's like right now. Anyway, that's all we had to talk about. The next topic, are you ready to go on? I'm assuming.
Yep.
The next topic I had written down is my man. The man I fell in love with the first 3 seasons of Empire, and then I'll be honest with you, season 4 of Empire, Demi Moore came on as a character, as a really stupid character, and the show kind of lost its footing for me. But I liked the first 3 seasons of Empire. I enjoyed the music, and I really enjoyed Juicy Smoulet's vocals and his character. And you are a fucking law nerd. You are smarter than me. I have no problem acknowledging this. You are the Dominic, I'm the Dominic to your Eugene, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's how I always said it. But you paid attention to the sentencing of Jussie Smollett, and I'm going to let you take it.
So I am a big follower of Law 2. I know I've mentioned this several times before, talking about Arcata Law, talking about Legal Bites, Nate the Lawyer, Viva Fry, the whole cast, Runkle the Bailey, Good Logic, all of them.
Really
Anyway, Nate the Lawyer. So I've watched any major trial that's happened in the last 2 years. I've watched the whole trials, and then a month later when they do sentencing, if they're found guilty and they do sentencing, I'll watch the sentencing hearings. Nate the Lawyer hosted the Juicy Smollett sentencing hearing. Now, to date, the longest sentencing hearing I've seen prior to this was 45 minutes. So let's explain what a sentencing hearing is. If you're found guilty in your trial, right at the end of your trial, after the jury's dismissed, they schedule a sentencing hearing, which is usually a month later. Juicy was found guilty back in January, early January. This was his sentencing date. Like I said, the longest one is 45 minutes. And here's the purpose of it. Sentencing comes in. The prosecution says, hey, Your Honor, we think the punishment for him should be this. And then the defense, which is the person who's found guilty, his lawyers say, Your Honor, we think the punishment should be less than that. We think it should be this. And here are some statements. And then they bring up family members and, co-workers to say how good of a person they are. And then they read letters from local organizations that say how good of a person they are. Usually a judge leaves it to 2 people can talk in person and 2 letters can be read out loud. We get to Jussie Smollett's. His sentencing hearing was 6 hours. 6 hours. And I understand why the judge let the circus go on. And when I say circus, it was a circus. He knew that this being a high-profile case, and he had 6 lawyers, 6 defense attorneys, Jussie Smollett. Think about that. Each one of them are probably getting billed at a minimum $450 an hour. So $450 times 6 times 6. Yes.
Paul, what the fuck? Get your goddamn degree. Go back to school and finish it, you dickhead. We could be living in a nice home by now.
It's not that easy, bro. Anyway,
I believe in you.
So they parade family member after family member after charity lead. And the reason the judge let it go on is because the judge knew that if he didn't let it go, when they file an appeal, which most certainly he's going to file an appeal, it's all recorded that the judge let them have all the time they wanted. So I just want to, and everybody, the speculation was he wasn't going to serve a day in jail or prison, that it was just going to be probation and a fine. The Chicago Police Department got the figure and said they spent $120,106 investigating the fake hoax crime that he reported. So that's what Chicago PD was out. So everybody figured he was going to get charged that. And the maximum possible fine he could get on top of that was $25,000. And after 6 hours, the judge himself took an hour to give before he read the sentencing, his justification. And everybody thought it was probation. And then when the judge started talking, everybody went, okay, this judge might give him jail time. Because, here's the big thing about this story. Everybody was upset that there was no cameras in the courtroom for the trial. Well, when the judge gave his hour-long spiel, we found out why there was no cameras. Prosecution and the judge was fine with cameras in the courtroom. Juicie's attorneys did not want cameras for the trial, but they wanted them for the sentencing hearing. because they didn't want to see the public see him lie on the stand and see all the evidence come out against him. So, but for sentencing, when they were going to parade, there was letters from Samuel. There was letters from Samuel Jackson. There was letters from.
This motherfucker's innocent.
That's what I said. I'm like, this is not from Samuel Jackson. There's not any F words in it. But this was after and you realize when the judge talked for an hour, how he was saying that you committed perjury on the stand. You did this, this, and this. You realize, okay, he might actually get like a week or two in jail. But here we'll listen to the sentencing hearing.
I'm sentencing you to 30 months felony probation, and the probation is going to be to this court. You're going to be allowed to travel wherever you want. You do not have to live in the state of Illinois. You can report by phone. I know that if you're going to try to make a living and do some of the things you do, you may have to go to other places, New York and Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Why is he wearing a mask?
He's the only person in the entire. He's the only person in the entire courtroom wearing a mask, which is funny because his grandmother invoked the Holocaust. His brother invoked Russia-Ukraine being a reason he didn't have to go to jail, and his brother also said that in the time of COVID, if he spent any time in jail, it's basically a death sentence for him. But he's the only one wearing a mask.
Talk about a soft group of actor sibling pussies. This motherfucker,
well, the brother wasn't even wearing a mask.
Continue. We'll talk about this in a minute.
You can do those things. You will pay restitution to the city of Chicago in the amount of $120,106. You are fined $25,000, which is the maximum fine.
So probation,
and you will spend
fine.
The first 150 days of your sentence in the Cook County Jail.
Boom.
And that will start today, right here.
They didn't think that was going to happen.
Mr. Smollett, though the jury found you guilty and I've sentenced you as I have, you have the right to appeal the findings and rulings of the court or ask your sentence to be modified. To do those things, you need to file a notice of appeal in writing within 30 days. You may also file a motion to modify your sentence, which would have to be filed in writing within 30 days.
Completely stone-faced until...
filings are waited for purposes of
well,
appeal.
we can't see his face because it's covered by a mask.
Transcripts,
you can see his nose and the outline of his mouth. You can see him just like stone-faced in his eyes.
No, I would just like to say to Your Honor that
COVID! Put your mask on!
I am not suicidal. That's what I would like to say.
Okay.
I am not suicidal.
Okay.
I am not suicidal. I am innocent, and I am not suicidal. If I did this, then it means that I stuck my fist in the fears of Black Americans in this country for over 400 years and the fears of the LGBTQ community. Your Honor,
well, if it fits, it must have quit. Jesse.
I did not do this, and I am not suicidal. And if anything happens to me when I go in there, I did not do it to myself.
I paid somebody to do it to me.
I respect you, Your Honor. I respect your decision. Jail time.
White nationalists inside who were selling heroin with Mexicans. Okay. They tried to kill me because I'm a black gay man.
And so, yeah, that was the production he put on. And then when he walked out of the courtroom, they didn't cuff him, which that was the visual everybody.
When he walked out, he did this. He had the fist.
He did the power fist.
And he kept doing this.
Yeah.
I'm not suicidal. And he put it up and he go, I'm not. He keep putting it up and down. It made me laugh so hard, man.
Yeah.
So over the top. And then his family was the same. His siblings were the same on news outside the courtroom.
Sorry. I don't fault siblings or grandmother or mother.
Not grandmother or mother. Siblings are the actor siblings. I do because that's whatever. I don't fault them either. I guess that's family. You're right. I'm sorry. I'm an ignorant.
If it was you, there was a mountain of evidence against you, I'd still be like, motherfucker, innocent. You're my brother.
You're telling me he murdered 50 people like 20 years ago, and just now got caught up to him?
And he videotaped it and took selfies after every kill. Be like, nah, that's not him.
It doesn't sound like him at all.
Nah, he didn't.
You sure it wasn't like a group of guys? You sure he wasn't held captive? You found evidence that he was held captive for 5 years and just jerked off onto every day? That sounds more believable. Oh well. Anyway,
so that's my interpretation. Like I said, the cameras in the courtroom I thought were the big reveal. Like, because nobody realized it was Juicy's attorneys that stopped it because they didn't want the world to see him lying.
I didn't know that either.
and we didn't get to see all the evidence. Obviously, the jury saw all the evidence, and it took the jury literally 2 hours to find him guilty on 5 of 6 felonies. So obviously, the evidence was definitely weighing against him.
Wow. I know that was the last thing that we had written down for news.
Sure, if you got something else, bring it up.
Something just popped up in my head, but before I go into that, you have the same list that I have that we made this afternoon of the itinerary for our show. So the next segment that we're going to be doing after this news one, how we start with PT and then go into NKO, and that, you know what I'm talking about. In the up when we get to the last one, the big one that's going to eat up a chunk of time. I'm going to, about a few minutes beforehand, I'm going to shoot Tony a text and let him know to jump on. He texted me, him and Marv are going to come on, and they're going to play House of the Rising Sun for us live on the show. And I can't think of a better way to introduce the segment you and I have been dying to talk about, with the House of the Rising Sun as the intro to it live. So I just wanted to put that out there to you to remind you. So I'm going to write that down. But news-wise, before we leave news, I did see that Kyle Rittenhouse got to go to Disney World or Disneyland. I didn't know if you had anything. Okay, then never mind.
I don't know. He's on his Playboy World. He's on his Playboy World tour. I mean, I'm happy he was found innocent. That was the right call. And who am I to judge somebody what they're doing for their life? If it was me, I'd have probably gone a different route. But mazel tov to him. Let him live his life. And if he makes his money grifting to the conservative movement, make that money, son.
Is that what's going on now? He's basically using this newfound freedom to make money.
Well, I mean, but
I'm not
suing. He's suing all the media companies. I don't know if he's going to win or not. We'll see how it plays out. But he's doing like the Turning Point USA traveling. He's going to all the conservative talk shows, which I'm not hating on at all. Like, more power to him. Make the money. Not what I would have done in the situation, but who am I to judge anybody else for doing what they're doing?
Right on. All right. Well, that's all I had left for news. That's if you want to jump into our next segment.
All right, here we go. All right, kicking it right off, we got the series. I'm assuming it's the series finale of Pam and Tom doing another season. This is the last time we report on it, which is kind of good because the last few weeks bringing it up on the show felt like a chore. But we got to finish what we started.
It started out good. It started out really good. And that first episode, I would argue, pulled at my nostalgia heartstrings of you and I specifically moving to Fort Myers, Florida in 1996, June 4th, 1996. And I remember being at Grandma and Grandpa's Poinsettia Park off Ballard Road, going to visit them and swim in the pool and shit, and listening to the 102.5 The Storm, and the entire soundtrack of Pam and Tommy. That first episode was everything that was playing on the radio when we first moved to Fort Myers. It brought back so many good memories, that first episode. And then
soundtrack was amazing. Soundtrack for the whole show was amazing.
To the point where I started listening to Motley Crue this week, and I'd forgotten that Tommy Lee put out a side project in 2001 called Methods of Mayhem, and had a hit song with Kid Rock, and it is such a shitty fucking song. It popped up on Spotify. But anyway, yeah, Pam and Tommy, the finale.
So I will say the finale, out of the last 3 or 4 episodes, the finale was my favorite. I thought they did a good job of closing all the arcs. I like the way they folded it up, and I'm assuming that's the story of how the Pam and Tommy got sold legitimately, if not close to it. The only thing is, I did look it up. It didn't get sold to the company they said in the show. It got sold to Vivid. Vivid was, and they said that in the end in text. They said Vivid bought the rights and distributed it from there. But I mean, the only thing I can say on it is the whole scenario. Tommy's an asshole based on the show. Based on the show, he's an asshole. Pam, I really feel bad for her and what she had to go through the whole. Yeah. I don't think she's had a bad life. One thing I thought was really weird is, again, and I know I talked about this before, how they made the problems between Pam and Tommy a lot sooner than they actually had, and it ended with them only having one child going into the divorce, but they have 2 kids in real life, so take it with a grain of salt. But they closed it up. They finished the story. It makes sense. Whether it's true or not, don't know, but it was entertaining.
Like I said, first episode pulled me in. The second episode I thought was good. The third episode is where it started to kind of drift for me a little bit. And like Paul said, it started to become a chore towards the end. I'm glad that it's over with. We don't have to watch it anymore. But it did bring back some nostalgic memories. Music was good, but yeah, that's all I had to say on that one. I just sent a text out, so hopefully it'll be jumping on soon. New Kids. The next thing I had written down was New Kids on the Block. Out of fucking nowhere, I'm on YouTube on my lunch break the other night, just sifting through my fucking feed, and this video comes up and it says New Kids on the Block, Bring Back the Time, brand new video. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? And it was like a couple days ago, I think it had been uploaded, or maybe even a couple of weeks. I know it's recent. And it was New Kids on the Block, En Vogue, Salt and Pepper,
Rick Astley.
And Rick Astley. And it's this fucking throwback song called Bring Back the Time that I think ultimately when you listen to it, it has a very similar feel to that song Blinding Lights by The Weeknd. It has
I thought of Stacy's mom.
Stacy's
mom
a
know.
little bit. Yeah, it had a little bit of elements of everything. It had like an old 80s, 90s synth poppy feel, like something you'd hear on a Grand Theft Auto soundtrack. Like
everything, the whole video was a compilation of parodying 80s and early 90s videos like Devo and
Twisted Sister, Robert Palmer. There's a few other ones that I didn't recognize.
A Flock of Seagulls.
Yes, Flock of Seagulls, which I loved, and that was Donnie. Fucking Donnie.
Donnie played the lead in most of those throwbacks.
Donnie was also, if nobody knows, I can't think of his character's name, but was in the Stephen King adaptation with Damian Lewis and Jason Lee of Stephen King's Dreamcatcher, where he played. I can't think of the character's name, but he was like a mentally challenged person. Duddis. It's played the character of Duddis.
Well, as you know, I am a ginormous Blue Bloods fan, and Donnie is my
fan.
Yeah, Donnie's the man. I like Donnie.
Fucking Donnie. Yeah, it popped up in Vogue. I didn't really see in the video. I mean, I probably caught a few. They did
the Hey Mickey.
Okay, then they look fucking completely different. They look amazing. Salt and Pepper, unrecognizable. And I'm not saying that is a good thing or a bad thing.
50% are unrecognizable.
Yeah. Well, one of them is almost unrecognizable because she's,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And I'll say this. If you think back at Salt and Pepper in the day and you were like, oh, this one's the more attractive one of the two, that got flipped over the years.
Holy shit, man.
That got completely turned around.
But, I mean, I listened to it a bunch of times today. Like, it's a catchy fucking song, and it really did take me by surprise. Like, I never thought in a million years I'd hear another New Kids on the Block song. It was fucking wild.
I
thought you were saying like random guest the show.
Right stuff. No. Just rocking out to the New Kids on the Block, bro. They had a bunch of hits. Chinese food makes me sick.
Oh, what was the one that Weird Al parodied? Like Weird Al did a great period of
Oreos. What's in the middle? The white stuff.
White stuff. That's what it was. And there was another one. It was a takeoff of Rico Suave. I can't think of the song. I had the album. Like you and I were living in the same room on East Breen Avenue. And Mom got me that album when she went to Green Bay or Appleton for a bowling thing. She brought me back that and a Ren and Stimpy compilation album that was put out by Nickelodeon and Spumco. And I remember because all I wanted was Dr. Dre The Chronic, and Mom's like, yeah, the girl at the record store said that it wasn't appropriate for a kid your age. I'm like, God damn it, Mom, you fucked me. But not really, because she got me two really cool albums in place of that. But Weird Al.
Taco Grande.
Taco Grande. Ooh, Taco Grande. Yeah, that's right. Dude, I'm so excited. I'm so excited for the biopic, the Weird Al biopic with Daniel Radcliffe. I love Weird
Al. I'll reserve judgment until seeing it.
All right, whatever.
I'll watch it. Next one. Are we done with New Kids on the Block? Oh, and if you want to watch it, tell them where to go.
Oh, link in the description down below.
Yep, all the way at the end. New Kids on the Block is all the way at the end.
All the way at the end. Check out the description box.
With the link to the trailer for your next one.
Oh, the next one, yes. The link for the trailer for the next topic that we're going to talk about in TV entertainment. I'm I sent him a text, come on now, please, before this next segment's over with. But if he doesn't come on, we'll just launch into it and we'll deal with it if he shows up, if they show up. They're probably setting shit up. So the next thing, we put a link in for this trailer. It's a movie that's coming out, I believe, April 22nd of this year, if I'm not mistaken. I let me bring up, because I had everything situated. I had the page brought up so I could talk about this. I apologize for having everything a little backwards right now, people. Here we go. So the trailer that we have in the description for this next thing in our TV entertainment segment is for a movie coming out April 22nd. I was right, of this year. It's called The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. The synopsis for this movie is: unfulfilled and facing financial ruin, actor Nicolas Cage accepts a $1 million offer to attend a wealthy fan's birthday party. Things then take a wildly unexpected turn when a CIA operative recruits Cage for an unusual mission. Taking on the role of a lifetime, he soon finds himself channeling his most iconic and beloved characters to save himself and his loved ones. And it's got him and Pedro Pascal, Neil Patrick Harris, Tiffany Haddish, Ike Barinholtz. That's who I was thinking of before when we were talking. But it's got a bunch of people, and the trailer is it's linked in the description below. It fucking looks awesome. Like, I'm a big Nick Cage fan to begin with, but the fact that he's channeling old characters of his and like doing this it's such a fucking funny tongue in cheek on his part. Like, it looks really fucking good in my opinion. Like, really fucking good. I can't wait for that to come out. That was my topic. I don't know if you watched it or had any thoughts on the trailer, but that's what I had written down next. So
I did not watch the trailer. I did not have time today. I was busy doing everything else. And
okay.
I apologize. But I did watch the New Kids on the Block music video.
Well, our next topic, they haven't shown up yet. I'm assuming. Oh no, that's you. I'm assuming that our guests are setting up and probably having a few beers and practicing, so they'll join us in a bit. I was going to use them as an intro segment to our next topic, which Paul and I. Hold on a second. Can we be on in 10 minutes? That work? Yeah, we'll have Tony, and then we'll come on in 10 minutes. Okay. Paul, I'm going to let you lead this in while I text him real quick.
All right, and this is kind of my big topic. I know I'm late to the party here, but I'll explain why we're late to the party of talking about this. Is the TV show Yellowstone? Holy shit! It became my new favorite TV show in the last week.
Too.
I have watched all 4 seasons, which is itself a task to do. And I think that's one of the reasons I haven't watched it until now. I've always wanted to watch it, but you have to have a decoder ring or a cruise ship to watch it, basically. So the way it works is when new episodes come out, they air on the Paramount Network, not Paramount Plus the app, the Paramount Network. They're 2 different things, so don't get confused on that. But once the new season is done running and off the Paramount Network, then it transfers to NBC's Peacock network. And you have to have a premium subscription on Peacock to watch it, which, as we all know, last week, we got live on the air last week.
It was the best thing that ever happened to me. I swear to God. Like, I never thought I'd say that because I fucking hate NBC and corporate shit like that. But God damn it, there's so much awesome shit on Peacock. There really is. I built a massive fucking playlist already of dope shit. And you took a really good profile picture for your account. You took maybe my favorite one, honestly.
What are you talking about? Oh, yeah, of course. It's gonna be Ron Swanson. So I'm gonna S the D of this show a lot right now. I want to start off with Tyler Sheridan, the creator of the show, the head writer, and
Taylor.
One thing about this is they're spawning a lot of spin-off. There's a lot of spin-off shows that are coming out of it. And I always worry with spin-off shows because you got to keep the same lightning from the original. And luckily, he's writing all the spin-off shows. And it shows from the first one, but we'll get into that in a little bit. But Tyler Sheridan wrote one of the most beautiful fucking stories. So, 30,000-foot overview. It takes place outside of Bozeman, Montana, in the Paradise Valley, where you have John Dutton, who's a rancher who owns like 200,000 square acres, which is unfathomable amount of land. That's a shit ton of land.
That's like bigger than Staten Island, right?
Yeah, and it's been in his family since 1883. That's hugely important. His family, staked off the land. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I here's where I'm at. I don't mean to cut you off, but I've only watched the first 2 seasons of this
Okay.
of Yellowstone. So I don't want you to ruin anything as far
I
as
won't
like,
get into spoil. I won't get into spoilers. I won't
but
get into spoilers.
1883. I did read into Wikipedia about all the spin-offs and shit. So 1883 is where the Dutton story, the storyline that I'm falling in love with right now, starts in 1883.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
But 1880. Well, we're going to discuss 1883 after this. But yes, for all intent and purposes, the Dutton family strikes the land in 1883. It's been in the family ever since, passed down from generation to generation, and it's the largest ranch in the state of Montana, which of course means everybody's sniping to break up his land. The government, Native Americans, they all want this land because it's a lot of land. And
So
if you don't know this, God's not creating any more anytime soon.
No.
So that he's getting it. Essentially, what it is. Here it is. This is the big one. It is a redneck cowboy version of The Godfather. That's no joke. You literally have a Godfather. You have the prodigal son who went off to join the military, the youngest son who is probably the smartest and came back home and doesn't want to be involved in the family business. You've got the oldest son who's running the family business, who, this is the only spoiler I'm going to give, is no longer with us in the show. You get to meet him, and he quickly is no longer with us. Then you have your Fredo character, who is...
Forget about him by the end of the first season. I forgot all about that he had died. He showed up.
Yeah,
and died.
well, I won't give any spoilers on that storyline. So
no.
Then you have the Fredo son. Oh, I missed. Oh, it's bots. I'll put it up on screen just so I can get it off my. There we go. You have the Fredo character, and then you have, I guess, you have the Connie character, but the Connie character is way more badass in this show. The female, the daughter. So
yeah, badass for being mentally fucked up.
Yeah. And the patriarch has all of his kids, like educated all of his kids in different things, except for the youngest who went to the military, to handle a certain aspect of the family business. And they are literally fighting for their lives to hang on to their land, to make sure that nobody takes it away, whether it be a government, whether it be a contractor. And deaths happens, murder happens, grimy political corruption happens. And the way it's written, it's so fascinating. It's so realistic. I love it. I can't recommend it enough. And this is one of those shows, and I rarely say this about a TV show. I've watched all 4 seasons, and I'm rewatching. I'm almost done with season 1 again. And I watched the prequel that's out right now. It's one of those shows where every season gets better than the last, which is so hard to do.
We both started this a week ago, and that's where you're at. I just finished season 2. I'm starting season 3 probably later tonight, tomorrow. I wanted to take a break and play some video games, but Tony just texted me coming on in 3. So, okay. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. First of all, I want to thank Joe, who was on the last 2 episodes. I know he's playing Destiny and probably listened to us. What's up, Joe? But I want to thank him. But like, it really was him talking about it and you talking about it on that episode that kind of like wanted me to just say fuck it. When you told me we had Peacock, I said fuck it, and I started watching that first episode. And I don't think there was an episode in that first season that I didn't either weep or bawl my eyes out throughout parts of the episodes. And it just got better. Season 2 took me a little while to warm up the first 2 episodes, but like I fell hook, line, and sinker into that entire show, into the entire all the characters, the actors, the setting. And I said to you at one point, like, if we ever get successful doing this, like, I want to relocate to Montana. And that's no joke. I know that I'm getting older, and I made comments about taking calcium and my bones getting sore and shit. There's a lot of truth to it. That said, mentally and in my heart, I'm not saying I would be any good at it. I know it would probably kick my ass, but I would like to take like an excursion and try my hand at being a cowboy in Montana for like a week or 2 weeks or a month even. Like, I really genuinely fell in love with how beautiful the land is. How rough like, you know me, I am not afraid of hard work. Now that is hard fucking work. I would have to get used to riding a horse and my legs being sore and shit, but I mean, everything about it fucking sucked me in, and it just appealed to me. Everything about it. It was just so fantastic, and I can't recommend it enough either. And I'm looking forward to finishing it. I'm looking forward to starting 1883. It's phenomenal. Kevin Costner is just, There's very few people in this world that I really give a fuck about wanting to meet. Like I would like to meet in person. I'd love to meet Kevin Costner. I really fucking would. At least shake his hand and just say, "Hey, man, thank you for years."
And the cast is fantastic. I mean, you got Kevin Costner.
Rip.
I don't. Yeah, Rip is the guy from Dazed and Confused. I don't know all the actors by names. I know them in the movies I've seen them in. The lead writer, Tyler Sheerden, was the deputy chief in season 1 of Sons of Anarchy. Fantastic actor. He doesn't have a main role in this, but he's got a really funny role, and he plays a character. He plays a character who comes in and out of the show throughout the series. And he's a great bridge character. Like when you have a storyline that you need to bridge from either one area or transition it to another, his character comes in and does that.
Fucking Jimmy, where the hell those Cowboys come from? Where are those Cowboys from? Northern Texas.
Yeah. Tony, I see you in the lobby. We'll bring you in once we're finished up with just finish up talking about the subject, just so you know. And just to finish this up, 1883, also written by Tyler Sheerden. The cast is Tim McGraw and Faith Hill play the original Dutton patriarchs, and this show, only the last 15 minutes of it take place in Montana. The whole show is about their journey to Montana. Originally from Tennessee, they go to Texas, and then they find Sam Elliott as a Pinkerton security guard who is going to help a bunch of German immigrants migrate north, and Tim McGraw just decides to tag along with him. And the whole season is all the hijinks that ensue. I'll tell you what, Tim McGraw and Faith Hill really knocked my socks off with their performance. The girl who plays their daughter, who's the main character, I don't know her name, but fantastic actress. And they did, when you're doing a Western show or movie, they made the number one rule happen that you need to make happen with a Western, and that's hire Sam Elliott to play Sam Elliott. You do that, your show or movie is guaranteed to be a success. And he's yeah.
I watched that today too.
So 1883, strong recommendation. One thing I will say, going into 1883, if you're expecting the same kind of feel as Yellowstone, it's not the same show. However, there's very beautiful moments that marry the shows together. Like, if you watch it, you'll know what I mean. Like that generational, like family traditions being passed down from one to another.
That was one of my favorite parts of Kevin Costner and the grandson.
These two shows made me emotional watching them. There was scenes where I was laughing my ass off. There was scenes where I was welting up and getting emotional. Like, especially the hunting scenes. Like that instantly takes me back when I was a kid learning to hunt. You know what I mean? And
not me.
That father son. Yeah, we had a different experience with hunting. So that's all I got for 1883. Now we are bringing in we've
got a group of guests, a live performance, a sing-along.
Oh, hey guys, how's it going?
What's up, fellas?
Doug and Paul, how goes it?
Great.
Good. How are you, Mark?
Good. We got Tony Andrews here tonight. And Doug, I don't know if you remember Gary Bednar's Curly. He played bass since forever. How we doing?
Okay, how you doing?
How you doing?
Good, you?
We're doing okay, man. We were farting around tonight. We found an old song from the early 60s that Carl Perkins taught Eric Burden and the Animals the lyrics and the chord progression to. Became a hit. It's called The House of the Rising Sun.
One of my favorite songs.
Yeah. It's got that whole prostitution vibe, which is, pretty much describes my life. He's only folks. Yeah. But get this Tony Andrews out here.
Where's Tony?
We need.
I see Mary.
Right behind the camera.
What's up, Tone?
The camera. But hey, what I have to do to set up the mic so you guys can hear it well is I'm going to plug it in. Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you can hear me.
Sure.
And if not, I'll switch it over again, and then we'll go.
All right, hey Tony, real quick before we start the music.
Yeah.
If you're gonna retweet a tweet and like give a comment on it and praise it, fucking subscribe to that person. I'm not bitter or nothing.
Oh,
I'm high-fiving myself on that one.
That's hilarious.
Beautiful.
Hi, Mary.
All right. Bless you guys.
Let's try it. Let's try it.
Oh, is Mary there?
All
Hey,
right.
Mary.
I'm gonna switch
Hey,
over the
hey, Mary.
mic right now. Let
Hi.
me know if you
Okay.
hear me. Can you hear me? Yes. Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
Thumbs up. We're ready.
Beautiful.
Live.
Okay. We'll get Tony
Go for
be
it.
able to sit down. Let him get his guitar. Okay.
I'm gonna take my
And
dogs out while you
1,
guys are playing.
2, 3, 4. There is a house in New Orleans. They call the Rise. And it's been a man God, I know one. Now my mother, she was
The Taylor.
she sold my new jeans. My daddy, he was a gambler down
New Orleans.
Now the only thing again is a suitcase and trunk. The only time is when he's on the drum. Mothers, tell your children not to do what I
Have done.
spend your life in sin and retreat in the house of the rising. Short version. All right. God bless you, good fuck. Yes.
God bless you. It was fucking awesome.
Can we hear you again?
I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Can
Thanks,
you hear
gentlemen.
us? You can hear me.
I can hear you.
All that matters, man. These other guys don't matter.
Have a great night, guys.
Bless
That was
Hey,
awesome.
you guys
Thank
too.
you,
Thanks
guys.
for dropping in.
Love you.
Appreciate it.
Love everybody. Peace, brothers.
All right. Bye, everyone.
That was awesome.
That was awesome.
That was really awesome. I fucking love that song. I started singing along. I don't know how it's going to sound in the
It
thing,
wa-
but
your mic every time you sang washed out the music, but that's okay.
man,
The
fuck.
point came across. The point came across. It was beautiful. Thank you both to Marv, Tony, and Gary, all three of
Yeah.
them for coming on and singing to us. And hi,
Man,
Mary.
Gary,
Hi, Mary.
you,
Hi, Mary.
of course.
Hey, Mary.
Hi, Mary.
Hey, Mary. Hi. No, but yeah, that was fantastic.
Dumbass.
All right. We finished up with 1883.
That was what we had left that I had written down for TV entertainment.
Yep, which
Unless you have
brings
anything
us
else.
to recommendations. You got the lead, brother.
My recommendation, there's not a lot to go on. It was going to be a few different things. It was going to be one of two different, I shouldn't say a few different things. It's going to be one of two things, and it ended up being what it was. But originally, for the entire last couple of days, planning this episode, I told Paul it was going to be Kid Rock's We the People, which I still argue that I should have two recommendations on this week's list because it is pretty damn great. I love that. I don't care. It's so bad. It is so fucking great. It's so bad it becomes great. I fucking love We the People. Let's go, Brandon. We the People. Anyway, that's not my recommendation. My recommendation is Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? For whatever reason, I popped it on today and got lost in it for the first time in years to the point where I started watching Big Lebowski. I want to watch Blood Simple again and Raising Arizona, but I got on a Coen Brothers kick because of it. But it truly is like a really beautiful movie with a beautiful soundtrack, a beautiful story, and a beautiful sentiment that is worth revisiting. If nothing else, to just kind of get lost in something that's not the world we live in right now, but it's a beautiful film. And that's going to be my recommendation. You can watch it for free with ads on IMDb app if you have Fire Stick. I'm sure you can watch it other places, but that's where I watched it. That's my recommendation for this week.
All right, and mine, as I droned on and on about, is actually going to be Yellowstone,
which was going to be my too. That's
and that would have been, and you could have done that. I would have gone with 1883 to follow it up. And I recommend if you are going to watch it, some people have asked, well, shouldn't I watch 1883 first to get the prequel out of the way? I would say no. I would say watch the namesake of the show, watch Yellowstone, and then watch the prequel. Again, fantastic show, fantastic cast, best writing I've seen in a TV show probably since Sons of Anarchy. I would definitely say that. I do recommend watching 1883 when you're done. The next prequels that are going to come out is 1932, where I'm assuming it's going to show us, Great Depression, post-World War I era, Dutton lifestyle in Montana. And there's also going to be a show called 6666, which is actually 4 6s, but it's going to be called spelled out 66666. You'll learn what that is watching Yellowstone. I don't know what the show is going to be about. I have a feeling I know what the show is going to be about and who the lead character is going to be, but I look forward to that as well. I can't wait for fall to watch season 5, and I'm assuming the new prequel will be coming out shortly after season 5. Like I said, you can watch the first 3 seasons on Peacock, and then you can watch season 4 on the Paramount Network. I think you can buy all of them on Amazon. Maybe I know you can on Amazon. I don't know about Roku. But yeah, Yellowstone is my recommendation. Hope you enjoy it. And I think unless Doug's got something he wants to add, which no clue where he is.
I'm ready to go into the next topic.
All right, cool. We are going to go right into Shoot the Shit. We've used all the brain power, and now we can sit, drink, pet our dogs, smoke our vapes.
We've only been in it an hour and eat our sushis. We've only been at it an hour, and we've gotten through it. I feel kind of proud. This might not be a 4-hour show after all.
It's nice, that it's not going to be a 4-hour show, because for those watching, tomorrow we are doing a Brothers from Other Mothers, which you can find the link in the description for all social media and YouTube and whatnot. We're doing a show tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Central Time, which will be 1 p.m. Mountain Time, which will be noon Pacific Time. If you're in Russia, Do the math.
Yeah, I'm sure they're focused on what we're doing in Russia.
Well, we get Russian bots in here, maybe, Which I'm curious if YouTube banned Russia, how come I'm still getting Russian bots up in here?
You never ban anything, man. Everybody.
All big tech media cut off feeds to Russia. Well, Russia also said that we're cutting off big tech. So it's kind of one of these, which came first, the chicken or the egg? Who cut who off?
That's fine. We'll cut them off. They're losers. Fake news. You're fake news, loser. Oh my God, the sushi.
Oh, you're really gonna slap chop lips and eat sushi on the stream?
I'm muted. I apologize. It's so good.
What is that? The shaggy dog roll?
It's the American Fresh Sushi Roll. And when I read it,
when did you go into town?
Yesterday morning, early in the morning.
To Iron Mountain?
I got my tax return. And I thought, fuck, I'm going to go ahead and just get everything knocked out right now and get it done with.
Gotcha.
Before I go into work. And he didn't have much made, so I grabbed this spicy something crunch roll. Dynamite roll. I got a dynamite roll. And when I took this out and read American Fresh Sushi Roll, this is the first thing I said, G Fresh Sushi Roll. Get out my goddamn sushi bar!
Yeah, when I went in this morning, I went in early. They didn't have much made, and I bought their entire wall.
Dude, it's so goddamn.
I got 4 Philly rolls. I got 4 spicy crunchy rolls, and I got 1 California roll. And I had the California roll for breakfast.
Let me tell you, it is it's so satisfying. I'll tell you what, my favorite. I'm gonna have to start calling when I know I'm going into town.
Don't do it. I did it. Don't do it.
Why?
They don't speak English, and you're gonna show up after calling it in, thinking you're good to go. You're gonna get there, and they're gonna be like, "Oh yeah, you call yesterday," and you'll be like, and I'm not trying to be racist. I'm just saying exactly what he told me, and I'm like, yeah, and he's like, okay, we start making it now, and I'm like, why the fuck did I call this in?
But it doesn't take long to make sushi, though. But I get your point. I do get your point. I've only gotten it once there, and I'm dying to get it again. It's the best thing I've had. Look, everything I've had there is pretty fucking good, considering where it's coming from. You know what I mean? My favorite thing that I've had, bar none, is the Red Dragon roll. It had a blend of really sweet, almost like a teriyaki glaze, with like a spicy mayo peanut sauce. And I don't know if they even use Wasago. I haven't seen any fish eggs on anything yet, which bothers me. I really kind of want to inquire about that. But it had the perfect balance of sweet and spicy. It wasn't too hot. It wasn't too sweet. It was perfect. And I haven't seen it since. I want to get more of that. I want to get a whole fucking plate of it.
I don't like their sweet sauce. I love their spicy mayo. They've got a really good spicy mayo.
Really fucking
shit, man.
good, man.
You got anything pressing you want to talk about?
Why do you want to just go?
No, I'm asking.
Oh, well, I was gonna say, like, I got some pretty good shit while I was there yesterday. Besides the sushi, I picked up the last ones they had, the last 2 they had, because I bought one on a whim the weekend prior. But I'm getting to the point right now where once I start hitting the track again and the snow goes away, my diet is going to become avocado, eggs, sourdough English muffin exclusively. Like, that's what it was last summer. That's what it is when I'm working out. I don't have a massive appetite when it's not as cold out. But when it's cold out, I try and warm myself up by putting a lot of different meats and shit in, and a lot of bread and shit. And I've been eating a lot of frozen pizza, and there's not a lot of good in the way of selection. I mean, there's tolerable, but I don't know if you've tried the Screamin' Sicilian pizza. They're the ones that make the mustache the cardboard mustache.
I've had it.
Not the best pizza, if I'm being honest. The thick crust I've had, it's not the greatest frozen pizza. They make a fresh one. It's like a giant 12 or 14 inch, but it's made fresh, and you can get it in the deli at the grocery store, and you pop it in the oven and heat it up. And Marvin Curley, Tony just texted us saying, "Thank you guys, thanks brothers." Marvin Curley, we're so happy. You guys are welcome. If you're still watching, I'll text Tony back in a little while. But you guys are absolutely thank you. We're fucking happy to have you. Happy to have you play a fucking amazing song and play it really
and you tell him Marvin Gaye are like it was a pleasure having them. And if he's not watching, tell him to go fuck himself and subscribe to Sibling Revelry on Twitter. Just kidding, Tony. I love you if you are watching.
He's not, because he's texting me right now. What was I talking about? Fuck. God damn it. What were we talking about before that? I'm not that fucked up yet, am I?
Sauces, spicy mayo.
Oh, what else I got?
Do
Pizza, frozen pizza. Sorry.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
So
Round
I've had it was like I said, the 12 to 14 inch. It's one that I've seen in the deli here at the store in my town that I've had before. It's not bad, but it's like $10 and it's completely raw dough. Everything's made up and you bake it in the oven and it gets nice and crispy. It's not bad. It's better than their frozen thick crust. They just came out with a new one called Thin and Crispy, and I've only seen Supreme and pepperoni. And I bought the pepperoni for $5 last week. It was on sale at Econo. And I bought it on a whim and had it. It may be one of the best thin, crispy, frozen crust pepperoni. It's low. When I say it's low, it's got loaded with fucking pepperoni, but it's this nice, it's frozen pizza, but the crust is really like the perfect thin and crispy. It really, for me personally, to the point where when I went back, I bought what they had 2 left in stock and I just bought them all up.
I eat sushi and chicken and Brussels sprouts.
Oh, that's
berries.
right. You don't eat good shit right now because you're trying to get shit, but you are looking good. You're wearing a different shirt, man. I thought they didn't have, or is that the hoodie?
I got 2 long sleeves. I got a black long sleeve and I got a white long sleeve.
I can't wait to get my Pee Wee shirt. I got a new Pee Wee Herman shirt coming. I know nobody cares, but I love Pee Wee Herman. And I got this cool mock-up of an R-rated Canon-like Hammer movie style poster called Pee Wee's Loners and Rebels Club. Sent from heaven, bent for hell. And on the back of the shirt, it's got his shoes doing the shoe dance at the tip top. But I've been wanting to buy some shirts. I found this website. I can't think of the name off the top of my head. I have to pull up my phone. I'm not gonna do that right now. But it has like all these different sections of like really cool shirts, like what you can get here. Like you can make your own, but you can buy other people's designs. And there's an entire section dedicated to like old school wrestling. Like there's some dynamite fucking dude. There's a shirt I bookmarked. I'm going to buy it when I get paid Friday. I'm going to buy it because it's like they charge $26 to $30 a shirt. It's Dusty Rhodes NWA era. It's a black shirt and a white image of Dusty with the sunglasses, and then and the hair is bright yellow, but the body is white, and he's wearing a half burnt, ripped apart American flag around his collar. I'm buying that fucking shirt. There's a Bret the Hitman Hart shirt where he's got the what's his fucking? I can't believe I'm skipping a beat on his move, on his finishing move.
Sharpshooter.
The sharpshooter. It's a shot of him putting the sharpshooter on Shawn Michaels. I want to get that shirt. There's so many cool wrestling shirts I want to get. Yeah,
man, we should see if we can find a wrestling Jeopardy.
Oh my! Well, I wouldn't win, but I have been.
Well, I'll let you go first.
Okay, I still won't win, but okay. I haven't really been following wrestling a whole lot lately. Although since we've got Peacock, the WWE network has now been sandwiched into Peacock, which means they have all of their old programming available plus their new shit. Now I don't give a fuck about new WWE. It means nothing to me. I don't mind some of the new AEW. I don't like Paul and Joe were talking about Danhausen on one of the last episodes. I tried to give that guy a chance. He irritated me, but that's neither here nor there. I'm sure he's a nice guy in real life. I just didn't care for the character. He looks cool. I like his hobbies. He's definitely got some cool hobbies and shit. But what I love about Peacock having the WWE network now enfolded into it is I do get to watch the old shows. And when we were talking about on last week's episode, when we found out that I got Peacock live on the episode that we got it, is they did do a season 2 of Ruthless Aggression. It did follow up and finish, and I have yet to start it, but that's my next watch once I get through Yellowstone. There's so many good wrestling on there. The only thing that's missing is Hulk Hogan's Rock and Roll Wrestling. I would love to get access to watch those again.
There's got to be a way to do it.
I'm sure I could torrent it. I mean, not torrent. That's an illegal activity. I'm sure I could probably find it for pay somewhere. At a convention, maybe.
I would go on the Amazon Fire Stick and just say Hulk Hogan's Rockin' Wrestling and see what pops up.
Let me tell you something, brother. I saw something that said, I saw a T-shirt today that had Hulk Hogan's face with Mother Teresa's like head garments around it, and it said "Brother Teresa." It had me dying. Give him a loaf of bread and a piece of fish, brother. It'll be fine. Tell him to come on down to the Hulkster Surf Shop and buy a couple T-shirts, 5 for $20. Tampa Bay, brother. All right, you want me to start?
Yeah. If you think you're at the disadvantage here, you get to go first and make it take it.
Let's do catchphrases for 500.
My man going to 500 like a G.
I've learned my lessons playing Jeopardy.
Hulk Hogan was famous for instructing Hulkamaniacs to train hard, say your prayers, and this. Oh, you really don't know this? This is your era, too. This is when you watched heavily.
Train hard, say your prayers, and love your mother, eat your vegetables, love your mother, and I really don't remember. I really don't. Like, I'm fucked up. I'm not fucked up, but like I'm inebriated enough to where I don't remember the ending of that.
All right, then say pass.
Pass.
Say your prayers and eat your vitamins.
That's right. He had a vitamin thing. I forgot about that. Okay. See, I told you I was at a disadvantage. And I gave you the first 500 right off the bat. You're welcome. It's going to be my birthday in 3 weeks. I just want everybody to remember that.
All right. I will.
If anybody's watching and wants to sponsor, send me a PS5. What's
I
up?
will do
quartering.
I will do kayfabe terms for 500. This kayfabe term is named after a former wrestler and booker who made it famous. It is the term used for when the outcome of a match is booked to be inconclusive. Oh, baby, let me tell you who it's called. This would be called, in kayfabe terms, a dusty finish. Do you dispute?
I do not dispute, baby.
What is a dusty finish? All right, let's go. WrestleMania is. I don't want to do the WrestleMania category. That's where you're going to beat me because I haven't watched a WrestleMania in years.
Oh, I don't think I'm going to beat you at all. You're already up to 1,000 points, stupid. There's no way I'm going to
Let's do World Champions for 5.
Could I just start popping calcium, magnesium, zinc on the I've taken.
Hey, say your prayers and eat your vitamins, brother. Whatever you got to do to get through this.
I've already had 2,000 milligrams, and it says recommended dosage should be 3,000 max adult today. Should I just pop them like I'm a cool drug taker of like healthy vitamins and stuff?
I had a girl in the Navy I worked with who on ship, and Joe knows her too, who OD'd on vitamin C.
Really? I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah. All right. He has laid claim to 11 world championships reigns and was just inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame this year. Shit, when was this made? Okay, John Cena. Okay, the most is Ric Flair, so I know it's not Ric Flair. John Cena is either tied or one behind Ric Flair. My guess is Triple H, but Triple H wasn't inducted into the Hall of Fame. So if this is brand new, I'm going to say The Undertaker. That's purely a guess, hoping this was made this year, because it just got announced that he's getting inducted this year. And I didn't think he had 11 championships though.
I'm not going to dispute because I really wouldn't be able to say.
All right, who is Edge? Okay, so this is
Downward Spiral finishing move.
Yeah, this is way older than. All right.
True story, Paul and I met Edge, and who was the other one that was with Edge?
Jeff Jarrett and Owen Hart.
That's right, at Sam Galloway, if I'm not mistaken. And yes. I brought Edge's finishing move was the Downward Spiral, and I didn't have anything to get autographed, so I brought the cassette tape for Nine Inch Nails Downward Spiral.
His reaction was priceless. I remember it to this day. He's like, I never get this, but okay.
First, I guess there's a first for everything. I'm like, it's your finishing move, dude. Like, it's the Downward Spiral.
All right, we will do specialty matches for 5. This match main evented WrestleMania 12 as Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart battled for 1 hour. What is an Iron Man match? Or what is the Iron Man match? It's Iron Man match is the answer. You got any dispute? Cool, good. All right, let's do WrestleMania for 5. This WrestleMania ended with one of the more emotional moments in the event's history as both Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit celebrated Reigns' world championship. Okay, Chris Benoit was still alive. Let's say that's 2008. I'll guess WrestleMania 23. Take a guess. You might get this. Yeah, I'm in the area. It's got to be around that. So take a guess.
You said WrestleMania what?
23.
2020. Oh, WrestleMania number 23. I'm gonna say WrestleMania 24. Bob.
WrestleMania 20.
Motherfucker.
All right, Doug. You go ahead and pick a category. I'll let you have this one.
Catchphrases 400.
D-Generation X had their T-shirts banned from schools across the country
did.
because they bore this two-word
Suck
catchphrase.
it. What is suck it?
Go ahead, Doug.
300 catchphrases.
You really like that catchphrases.
It's the
Though
only
no
time.
profit, Stone Cold Steve Austin originated Austin 316, which proclaimed says this.
What is I just whooped your ass / open up a can of whoop ass. Hell yeah, give me 200 for catchphrases, brother.
What?
I said give me catchphrases for 200, brother.
What?
Don't let me say it again, you goddamn fool.
What? That's his other catchphrase is what? He just says what after
I wish
everything.
I had a can of Bud Light Platinum so I could just bite into it right now on camera.
All right, catchphrases for 2. Macho Man Randy Savage only needed these 2 words to distinguish himself.
Ooh, yeah. What is? Ooh, yeah.
I'm not going to ever stop a what is. You can just say what the answer is.
Catchphrases 100.
Boy, I hope after this category you got your game on. Elvis sang The Heartbreak Hotel while The Rock often referenced the
God damn it. Oh, I'm forgetting that he used to do that. It just came to me. The Rock Jabroni. What is Jabroni?
All right, that's wrong.
It is wrong.
It is the SmackDown Hotel. And I was going to give you bonus points if you could tell me on what corner it was, which is Jabroni Drive and
Motherfucker.
Know Your Role Way, I believe. But if you got that right, I was going to give you an option for bonus points.
Motherfucker. I forgot you saying that. It's been so long.
Let's go kayfabe for 4. This is the kayfabe term for going to a 1-hour time limit draw. What is a Broadway? The kayfabe term is Broadway. What is going Broadway? Are you going to give it to me?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, sure.
Okay,
you got it.
It has going Broadway, but it's called the Broadway.
Hey man, it's all good. I might pull a rabbit out of my ass. Doesn't look like anybody's watching anyway, so fuck it.
World champions. This former 3-time WWF World Champion started his 3rd reign in a controversy as he was victorious in the Montreal Screwjob, who was Shawn Michaels.
Agreed. No arguments.
All
Fucking
right.
heartbreak dildo.
Specialty matches for 4.
Cockeyes.
This match can only be won once a competitor cannot answer the referee's 10 count. Fuck. Oh. I think I'm wrong, but I think it's a last man standing match. That's what I'm gonna say. Last man standing. If you got a guess, you might steal this.
I guess I'll go with that. I'll agree with that. I don't know.
If I don't get it, I'll give it to you.
You don't
As
need
last
to-
man stand. I didn't think I was gonna get that, to be honest with you. WrestleMania for 4. This WrestleMania was billed as the Ultimate Challenge as it featured the Ultimate Warrior putting his Intercontinental Championship on the line against Hulk Hogan's WWF World Champion. Fun fact, this is also the only WrestleMania that the American Dream wrestled on. What is WrestleMania 6? All right, Doug, go ahead.
World champions, 300.
This former two-time world champion ended his second reign in the shortest world title match in history. I think I know this.
This former two-time world champion.
I will give you a hint if you're wrong, you can go again.
You don't need.
He lost the shortest world championship match to Diesel, and it started Diesel's first reign as world champion. It's obscure. It's a really obscure. This is a really obscure one.
Razor Ramon? Razor Ramon? I don't know.
I think it's Bob Backlund.
Fuck, that guy was goofy as shit. He reminded me of Uncle Paul in a weird way.
Yeah,
you're right, Bob Backlund.
All right, kayfabe terms for 3. This is the kayfabe term for pranking another wrestler. What is a rib? Or ribbing? One of the two. All right, specialty matches for 3. This match is only won when the competitor or team retrieves an item hung above the ring. Well, that's not fair, because this could be a ladder match, or it could be an on a pole match.
I was thinking it was a ladder match.
It could be a ladder match or an on the pole match. I'll tell you what. I'll say on the pole match. I'll give you ladder match. Ladder match. All right, yours. Go ahead.
WrestleMania 300.
The star-studded WrestleMania included celebrity guests Muhammad Ali, Cyndi Lauper, Mr. T, and Liberace.
Probably wrong, but I'm gonna say because I think it is. I'm gonna say
Go back to the beginning. Go back to the beginning.
WrestleMania. Stop! Now you're giving me the answers. This isn't fun anymore, man. Like this is a boring subject. We need to get done with this.
Okay.
It's because you know the answers and I don't know the answers, and it's not that it's like I don't really care that I don't know the answers, but it's like I can't imagine this is fun for anybody to watch. It's certainly not fun for me to sit through, and it's not because I don't love wrestling. It's just because I really genuinely don't know the answers.
I'm just curious to see the kayfabe terms.
Yeah, go ahead, go through them. I just don't think we should continue playing in the full game. That's all.
This is the kayfabe term for real. What is a shoot? And this is the kayfabe term for fake. What is a work?
Yeah, see, I don't know this shit at all.
Yeah, no, and that's where like I said, I'm not a wrestling fan. I'm a wrestling history fan. I like the history of pro wrestling.
I just like the stories and the characters and the colors and the music.
CM Punk did an interview after the pay-per-view this week. Actually, him and MJF did a dog collar match, which was really, really good. But after he did an interview, and he gave a beautiful shout out to Bret Hart, like where he got emotional. It was really cool. I enjoyed it.
Oh, nice. So Legion of Skanks the last couple of weeks have been sponsored by something called Auto Blow, and it's like this. It's a machine. It's exactly what it is. It's an automated blowjob machine. It literally looks like a pocket-sized, like what pocket vape pens look like. It looks like a pocket vape pen, but big enough to put your dick on, and it has like sleeves and all that shit. And so that set me down like a whole web of like getting back into like porn again, like porn websites and stuff. And I think now that I'm going to be 42 3 weeks from today, no big deal. I've realized that what I'm finding myself really getting into, what I'm digging as I get older, is like hot moms. Specifically, like white girls with big fat African nipples that look chewed up. It's like my jam, dude. Like I love girls with big fat areolas on big old meaty tits, or even little tits. I like big old. I don't know why I'm talking about this. It's just I don't know. It's just something that popped in my head. I'm like, man, as I'm getting older, I'm like the things. I mean, I've always like looking at tits, but like what really fucking just does it for me is just big old fat African nipples. Fucking white girls' tits. I don't know why that made me laugh. I'm sorry. But that's what I was describing. You know what I'm talking about? Like saucer plates.
Oh, I know. I get it. I comprehend what you were saying.
Why are you allowing me to be ignorant right now?
Because sometimes, man, you just got to watch the train wreck. There's nothing you can do to stop it. You just got to let it go by.
I do. I love MILFs. I love moms. They're so hot.
I feel like
So-
you always gave me shit for liking older women.
Yeah, but I'm talking about when I say MILFs, I mean women my age. You like women twice your age. And I'm not giving you shit for it, but that's the reality. Like
I
you're
don't
into,
date women that are 63, 64.
she looked a lot older than 64.
I date women that are usually your age, and that's when you give me shit.
Bitch didn't look like she was my age. That woman looked like she was our mother's age. She looked older than mom.
I disagree, but okay.
You can go ahead and disagree. That's
She was
okay.
your age. Doesn't matter to me.
Smoking does terrible things to a person, man. Especially their skin. I've noticed that. I've also noticed I'm getting lines in my face now too. Like it's really weird to look in the mirror and see. Like I've gotten used to white hair here, but it is really fucking weird to get used to seeing just like all of the fucking lines that are starting to form around my eyes and my forehead and shit. It's bizarre. It's bizarre thinking that I'm now at the age. I'm 2 years past. I'm past the age now. When we were kids and Dad turned 40, and the Hardys in between our house and the school that he worked at had the marquee say, "Lordy, Lordy, Bill Burke is 40." And I remember thinking to myself, like, God damn, Dad's old as fuck. And now I'm like 2 years past that, and I'm like, holy fuck, I'm old as fuck. And I started going down like a Spotify rabbit hole. Like I use Instagram to like kind of like vent my brain for myself through stories and shit, which is like reels on YouTube, I imagine, and TikTok or whatever. It's just short little brief second little videos and shit. And I usually just post like I share whatever I'm listening to from Spotify to Instagram, and I'll write like a caption on it. And I went down like a 90s playlist rabbit hole of like Spin Doctors and
Little Miss Can't Be Wrong.
Elastica. Every now and then the connection is made. Do, do, do. Like that, Everlast. Like I went through a lot of Kid Rock, but I went through like a 90s playlist that just it started making me emotional. It's like, God damn it, like I'm now that point where all of that music that was coming out at that time when I was young, when our dad was turning 40, like I'm now past that age, and it's older music, and I'm an older person, and just I don't know, man. Getting old sucks in a sense. Like I'm really, if I'm being honest, I'm looking forward to doing the show for a couple of reasons, but I'm looking more forward to just doing this show with you on Saturdays than I am celebrating my birthday 3 weeks from today, particularly. Like I told the folks the last time you and I were there, maybe the last time I was there, I was giving them shit, and Dad's. No, it was about what we were gonna eat for my birthday, and I said like I don't really care. Like personally, I don't want to celebrate my birthday. Dad's like, we don't have to celebrate your fucking birthday. I'm like, yeah, we do, because Mom's gonna make an issue out of it. And Mom, on the way out, Mom was just like, she's like, we don't have to do this next year if you don't want to. I'm like, Mom, I don't want to do it this year. Like I don't. I'm of the mind that you should celebrate milestone birthdays. If you turn 40, celebrate your birthday. If you turn 50, celebrate your birthday. 60, 70. Fuck off. 80, that's a milestone. If you make it to 90, go ahead, do whatever you want. But like, I'm going to be 42. Like, I don't like celebrating my birthday. It just reminds me that I'm still fucking here, and shit just keeps getting worse. I guess I can't complain though. I got the show to look forward to, so I shouldn't totally bitch about it. But like, yeah, I don't know. I got another jag. Start a topic, man. Otherwise, I'm going to go back to talking about white girls with big fat nipples.
So, Mom calls me today discussing your birthday.
God damn.
Or this was yesterday, because I went to their house today. And she says, I talked to your brother, and I let him know I got the ring noodles for the ring salad.
I am happy about that, if I'm being honest.
And she said, your brother told me you didn't have to get the rings. You could have just used macaroni, which I started laughing. And I go, then that would have been pasta salad. And she goes, yeah, I know. I thought that was kind of funny.
Oh,
those ring noodles are what make ring salad.
That's just he's our little idiot.
Oh, the greatest something like that you have ever told me. Me and Doug are driving to our parents, and we're having a deep philosophical conversation about bacon wrapped water chestnuts.
Oh man!
And Doug says to me, I don't like them that much. They remind me too much of those little white discs that Mom used to put in chop suey. And I'm literally driving the car, and I give him that Samuel L. Jackson side eye, and I just look at him and I go, "Oh, you mean water chestnuts?" I thought that was funny. That's what the ring salad thing reminded me of.
is funny, but in fairness, I don't like bacon. I don't not like bacon stuffed water, bacon waters, whatever they
Bacon
are.
wrapped water chestnuts.
I don't not like them. I just prefer them. Our cousin Connie make them than our mother.
Kelly makes a good one too.
I've never had Kelly's.
Kelly makes a good one. Connie makes a good one. Mom makes. I like Mom's. I think the problem is Mom's sauce is different than the other two.
My birthday is 3 weeks from today. Do you think Mom would be mad if I asked her to make Uncle Paul's potato salad? We're talking about shit that I missed, that I love, that I haven't had in forever. And I'm thinking to myself, you're talking about Connie and Kelly makes good this and that, and thinking, God damn it, that sounds good. Uncle Paul's potato salad. I haven't had in so
You do
long.
what you want. I'm bringing my own dinner to your birthday.
What are you bringing? Chicken and vegetables?
Chicken and vegetables.
I pickle and bologna is the only thing I want in ring salad. That's all I need.
Which is hilarious. Which your birthday request is what I bring to a deer stand for lunch.
But I don't eat that stuff regularly. Like I never have it other than special. And to me, it's funny because I think that when I think about like Mom saying like, what do you want for your birthday meal? I think about like movies like Pee-wee. I think to those times where like that was very impressed upon in the movies and the TV shows that we consumed in the 80s and 90s, that like your birthday was your day. Like it was made, except for 16 Candles. Clearly they fucked over Molly Ringwald until the end, but she got Jake in the end. So I would argue that she won ultimately, but they made it seem like your birthday was your special.
Poor Ducky.
Yeah. God damn it. Pretty in Pink is a good movie too. You're thinking of Anthony Michael Hall, who, by the way, watching Yellowstone, for people watching Yellowstone, that's not Anthony Michael Hall in season 2. I just need to preface that.
It's the guy from Rescue Me. He's in all the Dennis Leary shows.
He gets confused a lot for Anthony Michael Hall. They look similar.
They do look similar.
But yeah, it's when we were growing up, it was in shows and movies about like movies where it was from the perspective of kids, like not necessarily Home Alone, but movies like Home Alone or Blank Check, Disney's Blank Check, movies where it was from the perspective of the kid and the adults were the assholes. It was impressed upon that your birthday was your special day. Whenever it was a character's birthday, it was like, what do you want you're getting your special pancakes for your birthday, and your special lunch for your birthday lunch, and your birthday
Uncle Buck with the snow shovel.
And my point exactly, man. Like, so when the topic comes up, what do you want for your birthday? And you say, what did we have for yours? Steaks?
Smoked brisket.
Smoked brisket. We had smoked brisket. So when it came to yours, it's like, yeah, that's what Paul's into. Paul likes it. But if it's my special day, I want something that makes me remember times that I loved celebrating my birthday. Like, I genuinely dislike celebrating my birthday as I get older. I talk about it for the show because it's entertaining, but I genuinely dislike celebrating my birthday. I fucking hate it as I get older. But if you're going to tell me you can have whatever you want for your dinner, I'm going to have you make me something that's going to make me reminisce about those times, about celebrating. I was thinking about this today, how we used to, I don't know if you remember. I don't know if you're old enough. I'm sure you are, but I specifically remember celebrating many birthdays, not just mine, but friends of mine's birthdays at McDonald's in the playroom. And now that's something you'll never see ever again unless you go to Orlando to the world's largest McDonald's, which I'm sure they still do because they have everything still intact there, from the ball pits to the rides to the food and all that.
Yeah, I just watched an episode of Healthy Junk Food on YouTube where they went there. It's exactly like we remember it.
That is the only place I believe on earth where McDonald's is still the way, in a sense, in spite of being like the shape of a fry box and 3 stories tall. It is still the closest living thing on the planet resembling the McDonald's that you and I knew, because go anywhere and now it's all corporatized. It's all like nice Art Deco structure. There's no more clown. There's no more grimace. There's no more Hamburglar or Mayor McCheese. No more ball pits or slides or fun cookies or shit like that.
Hardee's in town. I think they still have a kids' playroom.
They might.
I think they have. I'm just saying. I know. I'm just saying. I think they're the only ones I can think of off the top of my head that still have a ball pit.
But I was thinking about that today, like how I spent growing up. I would say from first grade to 5th grade, if I'm being generous, I spent either my birthday and one or two of those years to multiple friends' birthdays at the McDonald's on Iron Mountain celebrating, and they'd always bring up. We'd rent the room. We'd all have cheeseburgers or hamburgers. We'd all get small fries. We'd all get orange drink. with extra ice. We'd all get the little shortbread cookies that were shaped like the characters, and they'd bring out a cake that had like a sugar, a whole like sugar block of like a block sugar cube with like a spray paint, an airbrush portrait of like Ronald McDonald, the Grimace, all the kids in that. I was thinking about like how that is never going to be a thing for kids anymore. Like it probably wasn't the healthiest thing, but like when I think back to those times, man, like the world wasn't any better than it is now. Like the only difference is we didn't have technology wasn't where it is. We didn't have phones in our pockets. We didn't have connectivity of the internet. Everything was pay phones. Everything was. I think the closest thing we had was like the fax came out in the mid '80s, if I'm not mistaken, mid to late '80s. Maybe
well,
even
cell phones came out. Fax machines probably came out in like the '70s, but cell phones were in their infancy. Bag phones in cars. You had Reagan as president. The economy was booming. Everybody was making money. It didn't matter if you were college educated or a high school dropout. Everybody had a job. Money was being spent. It was a good time to grow up as a kid.
It really was. Movies were original as fuck and awesome as shit. Music was good. God damn it. I made this comment today. I was listening to 38 Special. Hold on. Hang on loosely. Hold on
loosely.
That
don't
popped up.
let it go.
I shared that to Instagram, and the first thing that popped into my head when I heard that song, I brought up the Spotify playlist to look at the album cover, and the album cover is the back shot of a woman's ass, it's a painting, like it's a drawing or a painting, and it's a woman's ass in cut off pink like roller skate shorts with her ass cheeks hanging out, and in front of her is like the porch with the band just kind of staring at her with their sunglasses down, cigarettes hanging out, and beers all around them. And the first thing that came to my mind, and I shared it to Instagram, and I wrote it on there, I was like, who misses hair and vaginas? This guy. Like, I came up in an era where, like, body hair wasn't an issue, man. Like, yeah, it smelled fucking awful if you're sweating it, but god damn it, dude. Fucking surfing through those tusks to get to the meat was so much fun. I miss those days. I miss the 80s and the 90s.
You just reminded me of a funny side plot from Reacher. You telling me, Reacher, this doesn't do anything for you? 38 Special?
Hold up. Yeah, that's so fucking good.
I just thought that the black guy standing up for classic rock and the white guy standing up for blues, that whole dynamic was hilarious.
Well, fuck. Oh, that's what I wanted to go back to. I wanted to touch back. We're going to shoot the shit now, but you just jogged my memory. Yellowstone, favorite characters. Now, bear in mind, I'm not where you're at, so I don't know the new people that are introduced. I'm only season 1 through 2, but I'll tell you off the bat so far, my personal favorite characters of this show that I've seen are very background characters. I love Kevin Costner. He's him and Casey are two of my biggest.
He's not my favorite character.
And Rip, but he's not mine either. My favorite character so far, I haven't watched everything, but season 1 and 2, not necessarily Jimmy, but the old guy who was there when Rip first joined, who's got the mustache and trains Jimmy, and Jimmy when Jimmy wins the belt buckle and the rodeo and the pride that you see. That guy, I think it's Frankie or Freddie. That guy right now so far, him and Jimmy are like tied.
The old timer. He's the old timer on the ranch.
I fucking love that guy.
What do you think about the branding like aspect? I think that's so cool. I think it's so fucking cool.
I can see. I get people thinking it's barbaric. I can see people understanding or thinking it's barbaric. I get that aspect of it, but that's different. That's a different mindset. You and I are of the mindset, like, hustle, loyalty, respect, honor, that kind of shit. Like that plays big. That plays big with people where we live, with men where we live, with men who I imagine who live in Montana and live by I can only imagine that the cowboy code is a rough fucking life to live. It has to be rewarding in a lot of various ways, I imagine, but it also has to be a very rough fucking life.
No matter how many years you work, your pay never goes up. It's always going to be the lowest it can be. You do it because you love it. And that's what it is. It's a job that you do because you love it.
I kept thinking about that watching the second season when you find out that John Dutton sees Rip, when Beth lets Rip know that her father sees him as a son and gives him the hat, like, I'm gonna start fucking crying, man. But like,
it's emotional. I think I know what you're talking about.
when I watched him sit on the porch and she's reading the letter to him and she's letting him know that her father acknowledged him as a son, and he says, "Could you read that part back to me?" And he starts crying, getting weepy eyed, and she reads it back and she's like, "I realized at that moment that I have 4 sons." And he's like, he called me his son, and like that, I broke down. I watched him like look out from the porch, just look at the surroundings around him, and I'm thinking to myself, like, throughout the entire show up to that point, I kept thinking, like, what could be worth it? I watched Jimmy go from being a meth cook junkie to a respectable human being, like a guy I would fucking step into a fight for.
Where are you at with Jimmy's storyline?
Right now, he just won. I'm not.
I know what you're gonna say. I know where you're at, dude. Yeah. I'm so excited for you.
And the Buckle Bunnies are coming in, but she left, and I hope she shows back up. You know who I'm talking about. I hope she's the girl that Rip brought in, the female cowboy. I hope she shows back up to finish the storyline, but she left in season 2 and hasn't returned.
I'm not going to spoil it for you because
Good. That's fine.
But I think the new show, the 4 6s, 6666. I think Jimmy's going to be the star of it.
I really enjoy Jimmy. I really enjoy him as a character.
Oh, great story arc.
My heart broke for him when his grandfather died. My heart broke for him when he came back and when you could see that there was something going on between him and her, and that like it just a beautiful character altogether. I love redemptive stories like that.
You haven't even hit the tip of the iceberg. Of
I know.
I'm so excited for you.
My point being, watching him look around. Knowing the light, what I was trying to say, watching Rip look around and realize that he had just inherited all of that because he would be considered a son from the time he was 13 until now. Which that's the only gripe I have is that the show I think it was in 1997 and it portrayed Rip as 13 years old, and I'm like, he doesn't look like he'd be the age he looks much older, and he
looked like 15, 16.
I'm talking about the older version of him, like the years comparative to where he should be now. He looks way older than he should be.
They're all my age. But
he's a great character regardless, so I forget it. I forgive it, but God damn it, stop interrupting me. You draw me off my fucking line of thought, man.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we had a show where we bounce stuff off each other. My bad.
Yeah, but I was going somewhere and then fuck. Yeah, I guess I looked at that and that was all that mattered was like living the land. Like she didn't like it. She wanted to get out of go back to Utah, if I'm not mistaken, Salt Lake City, where she lived. And I don't know how you fucking stand living here. And he just like looked around, and I kept looking around. Like I looked at the scenery in that show, and I thought to myself, but watching Jimmy's story. I thought, like, this looks like a very hard life. Like, not just his story, but Rip's story. But from the perspective of Jimmy, as somebody I could relate to in real life, it looked like a very hard fucking life. Now, granted, it's a TV show. I'm sure it's much harder than the way they portray it. But Rip, the ultimate reward to that hard work is what Rip sees when he looks around. Like, it's what I see when I look around the visuals of Montana, of being on that ranch or being in that cabin. Like, hard fucking work, but goddamn it, that's where you get to live. That's where you get to wake up every day and fall asleep every day. And God willing, that's where you get to die one day. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful fucking story.
I completely agree. The show has got my young kid cowboy, like every kid wanted to be a cowboy when you're growing up. And like, there's a piece of me that would love to just go, to Montana or Wyoming and go on as a ranch hand. But I think now that I'm older, like I want to buy a ranch, man. Like the more and more I think about it, like if I ever got to the point where, I'm comfortable and I'm settled and I'm working towards it, like I'm 10 years away where realistically I could retire in 10 years if I play my cards right. But there's a piece of me that's like, once I get to that point, I have enough assets to where I could probably leverage it and buy a ranch. And you're not going to become rich owning a ranch, but God damn it, you're going to own a beautiful piece of property and you're going to employ people. And like Yellowstone is just like, God, I want to be John Dutton. I want to own the land. I want to employ people, and I want to make it a family, and I want to make it something successful. Because I love that hard work where, yeah, it sucks, but at the end of the day, when you're drinking a beer, looking out at everything you did and accomplished throughout the day, you feel so satisfied and fulfilled. And you don't get that in corporate America, or you don't get that working a 9 to 5 like lately. I love my job. I love what I do. It's got its rewarding moments, but man, I've always wanted to be a business owner, and I would love I've always wanted to own a bar or own a ranch. And like I'm trying to settle for this like ranch light out here, but I know it's coming closer and closer to where like I want more land, I want more property, I want to raise livestock.
I've always wanted to be an entertainer. I'm like you. I don't hate my job. I don't love my job. It's not what I want to do. It's certainly not what I thought I was going to be doing 20 some odd years ago when I graduated. But I love doing this, and whether or not this actually becomes profitable or becomes something that we can live off of, that'd be awesome. But like, I also have no aversion to hard work, and I would love, like you, I would love to move to a ranch. Like I said, I'd love to move to a ranch in Montana. Now the reality is, I'm sure I would be a fucking bitch the first year to 2, maybe even 3 years. I'd be a complete bitch about the work that was involved, but I think that's with any job. It takes me a while to warm up and get used to it and find a groove and like I'm just finding my groove now at my current position. But yeah, I'm like you. Like I would like to work a ranch. I would like to continue doing this. Like that's what I would love to do. This is what makes me happy doing this. But I'm good at physical labor, and I would love to. You've seen me work. Like I think I would be good. The reality is I'd probably end up being like I'd probably end up being like the Ira or the Barry Shamowitz from City Slickers in the long run, the ice cream magnets, the Ben and Jerry, the fat guys on the horse. But that's what it'd be. It ended up being me. Now I want to watch City Slickers 1 and 2. That's got to be on HBO Max, I think. But I wouldn't be opposed to trying that, like taking like a 2-week excursion and going to some kind of cattle ranch and moving. It doesn't have to be moving a herd. It could just be working a ranch. I would actually like to take the time and work a ranch. I would like to see what all goes in it, regardless of whether or not
my boss is actually planning on doing that. They're turning their ranch into like a City Slicker. Come on the weekend and work the farm, get the experience. So
I'm not bullshitting you, Paul. Look, I know I'm not the best brother. We're not gift givers, or certainly I'm not, because I'm not financially stable enough to give gifts. But like, if you ever thought about getting me anything, if mom ever asked you what I wanted, I want that. If he ends up doing that, I want that. I want to do that for a weekend, or if it's 2 weekends, I don't give a fuck. I want to do that. That would be awesome. I would love to learn how to milk a cow. I already know how to fucking chase after chickens. Goddamn little dinosaurs pecking your fucking feet and knees. But yeah, I would love to. I would love to see. I still have never played with goats. I want to play with goats. Goddamn it! I want them to jump on my back while I do yoga. Do goat yoga. I goddamn. This might be our shortest episode tonight, huh?
Yeah, I'm not opposed to it, man. I think we covered every topic we had really, really well, though.
I do too. I do too. I hope everybody is well. We got to do our final thoughts. I'm sorry.
Well, and another thing was we didn't have a lot of guests. I mean,
that's true. We anticipated more, but things happen. But I'm grateful that Tony, Marv, Curly showed up, and Mary showed up. I got to hear House of the Rising Sun. It was a lot of fun, man. It was a lot of fun. We got a podcast tomorrow at 2.
2 our time. Yep.
All right. I guess I'll show up to it, but I'm not going to have topics. I might. Can I be honest with you? I've only drank 3 beers. I've only had 3 beers tonight. So, and I've got 20 some odd beers in the fridge. So I might crack a beer open tomorrow. Fuck it. I took next Friday. I took next Friday off. I might celebrate the weekend early by cracking a beer open tomorrow afternoon. Maybe that'll help work off the non-hangover that I have. But anyway, Paul, I leave it to you.
All right. Well, I mean, there's just one thing we have left to do.
Final thoughts. You want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
Doesn't matter to me.
Why don't you go first?
All right. Inflation is going to start hitting hard. I just recommend everybody really budget their finances, make sure they're going to be stable, Figure out what is a need, a want, and a necessity. Plan accordingly. Buy guns and grow your own food. You can never go wrong buying guns and growing your own food.
Solid
That's all I got.
advice. Solid advice. Be your authentic self. Being your authentic self. What does it mean to be your authentic self? I think I'm getting to that point right now where I understand what I like about me, what I like about life, what I want to do, how I want to live, how I want to see things, how I want to enjoy myself. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Like, I like leaning into the heel. I love the aspect of the show that I know that it drives some people up a wall. It does. It's a fucking thrill to play to not necessarily play a character, but a version of yourself. Like who I am on the show isn't who I really am. I mean, it is to a degree, but there is another, like any human being, there's another side to people. But I'm at the point right now where I realize, like, I'm just going to start living this, being this person in full time and see where it takes me. Because so far, dude, I wasn't going to really say anything, but like, I made a promo video for this episode tonight. Now, I know for a fact the amount of people that watched that promo clip did not show up for the show tonight. And that's fine. I don't give a fuck. But the idea that over 2,000 people in under a 24-hour period watch that fucking minute clip is baffling and mind-boggling to me. And knowing that makes me feel like I'm on a stage in some sense. So while this hasn't been like a crazy over-the-top episode like our last few episodes, and neither of us are really all that fucked up, which is fine. It's not the end of the world. I also feel like you're not getting the version of me that you normally would get, but knowing that I'm on some kind of stage with that many eyes potentially watching, it feels like fucking wrestling. It feels like the best aspects that I love about wrestling, being able to just kind of like lean into that shit. But I guess my final thought is just be yourself, regardless of what you think people are going to think of you, regardless of what people might consider or say or try and do. Just be who you are. Who gives a shit? That's all we got left in life. One day we're gonna be dead, and none of this shit's gonna matter. You'll be a fucking in society like Hitler.
That's how all our story ends. Hasn't changed for any human in existence yet.
The dude abides. By the way, one of the funniest lines before we end down, I did watch The Big Lebowski today. Okay, one of the funniest things that John Goodman has ever said that I forgot he said is in the beginning of that Big Lebowski when they're playing bowling and he's explaining to the guys, Donnie just got a strike, and he's walking back, and the dude's explaining to Walter what happened to the rug in his apartment and how the Chinaman peed on his rug, and he starts going into it. And he's
really
like,
brought the room together.
Also, dude, Chinaman's not the preferred vernacular. Asian American, dude. I don't know why, but it just fucking made me so happy. I love John Goodman, and it's going to break my heart when he dies.
All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us this Saturday night. Appreciate it. We'll be on live tomorrow on Brothers from Other Mothers. Follow us on all social media for Sibling Revelry. Links in the description. Same thing with Brothers from Other Mothers. Same thing with Bob and Doug Staving from Boredom. We appreciate you watching. If you like the shirts me and Doug are wearing, check our merch store out. See if you like it. Maybe buy some. If not, that's cool too. We just appreciate you watching.
Questions, comments, hit us up.
Absolutely. Like, share, and subscribe. Please like, share, and subscribe.
I'll show my nipples. If we get more subscribers next week, I'll show you guys my little tiny quarter-sized nipples.
Or we won't show your nipples depending on the comments you leave. Whichever you guys prefer.
Look at this cut body. Wouldn't you want to see these little fucking dime-sized nipples, man?
No, I'm kidding. All right, everybody. Have a great night. Thanks for watching.